Full time here at Gypsy Lane, Kenilworth Sporting 0, Coventry United 8, an emphatic victory for Ellis Alleyne and the boys in red and green. Ellis, tell us your initial thoughts on their pretty impressive performance.
Yeah, I thought we did all right. It's hard when you play against teams that are going to come out with a kind of a point to prove. A lot of the lads knew each other, so it kind of had that initial jovial feel to it. And to be fair, that did show in the first half. We were a little bit careless at times, we were a little bit sloppy. The conditions are different, which we knew. It's never going to be like what we play on at home. But once we'd settled and we started to find them passes and started to sharpen up our game a little bit, especially in the second half, that's when we started to control and dictate the tempo. We tried a different shape in the first half. Elements worked, elements didn't. We'll try it again. But second half we reverted back to our regular shape, and that's where we were firing.
Obviously Saturday we started with a Step 4 club. We were now taking on a club at Step 8 of the non-league pyramid. Compared to Saturday, what was the ambition for today's match?
Much of the same in terms of getting minutes in legs, and just trying to make sure the mentality was right. Whenever you come against a team that you know are not going to be as good, you tend to drop to their level, do things you probably wouldn't, look for the Hollywood ball a little bit more, and have that kind of feel that the game's not important. What we wanted to make sure was that we were bang on it. And look, let's be honest, the half-time team talk wasn't a pleasant one because we weren't really doing that in the first half. So we mentioned it again. We've put a little bit of a bolt up them if you like. And we definitely saw the response in the second half. Was it all singing, all dancing? No, it wasn't. But at the end of the day, you can only beat who's in front of you, and we've done that, obviously, as you said, emphatically.
As we said off camera, there were a couple of new ideas put in. Some worked, some didn't.
Yeah.
That's the way that pre-season goes. But as a manager, is it a learning curve for yourself, knowing what works and what doesn't, and when is the right time to change it?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we've already analysed it at half-time. What we'll have to do is go to an out-of-possession shape and an in-possession shape. We know the calibre of players we've got can do that, and we've got to do that transition quickly. The reason why we're trying, obviously, new things is because different facilities that we're going to be playing on. Some are going to be like this, what we're playing on tonight, others are going to be like our surface. So it's not one size fits all. We'd love it to be, but this is Step 5 football, and you have to adapt and you have to adjust, which is what I envisioned we'd have to do, and we did do that, and that's where the breakdown came. Just certain things, people didn't know where to go at certain times, but that's all part of pre-season, and we will get it right. We will get it right, and we will be ready to use it when we need to.
A word on our host, Kenilworth Sporting, as we said, playing in the Midland Football League Division 3, the highest they've ever played, going into, I believe, their second season in the MFL, so they're going to be pushing towards the heights. They gave a good account of themselves in the first half, didn't they? Tested our goalkeeper. A word on their performance today.
Yeah, they did. I think their chances come through our own errors, not tracking runners, not thinking about when to win the first ball, not being on it for the second ball. But you're right, they did give a good account of themselves. They were quite rigid. They were snapping into challenges. They weren't here to just make the numbers up. They were here to try and make our life difficult, and they did exactly that for large parts of that first half, which is why we had to have the conversation we did at half time. Second half, they did drop off a little bit, whether that was tired legs, whether that was tactically, but they literally just allowed us to have the ball, and once we got into the rhythm of the second half, it was all over from that point.
As you said, second half, we got into our rhythm. The switch was flicked. We got into beast mode, scored 6 goals after the break. Yeah. 2 for Ryan Harkin to start us off, his first in Coventry United colours, albeit in pre-season. How good was it to see the local legend finally in action?
Yeah, it's good. He needed some more minutes in his legs. We could have took the option to rest him and see someone else, but no, we want to get him on the score sheet. We want to get him, firing them goals in, so his confidence is ready and up there for when we need it the most, which is going to be on the 25th of July against Elston Park at home. So it was good for him to get a few goals. Could have had a couple in the first half if the final ball was right, but yeah. I'm delighted to get a couple of goals on the score sheet for him, and hopefully he kicks on from here and gets a couple more on Saturday.
Well, Hearts could have got the hat-trick if it was left on a little bit longer, but the match ball, the metaphoric match ball at least, because we know how precious they are in non-league, went to Benji Adamarco.
Yep.
3 beautiful finishes, latching onto those through balls.
Yeah.
What can you say about him? He's brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah, look, I mean, putting him on with 35 minutes to go with that speed is going to be a nightmare for any defender. He was focused on just getting at his man, running in behind and creating a nuisance, and that's exactly what it was. Scored a hat-trick. 2 of the goals were almost identical. 3 balls, latched on, 2-touch finish, and that is what we can expect from him. That is what he's good at, and yeah, I love the fact that he's on the score sheet as well. Hopefully that kicks him on and he's putting more in the back of the net for us.
And finally, a match where I think yourself and myself are going to be going into the Lions' Den a little bit on Saturday, being former Coventry Spinks men. But it's what we call in these parts El Covico versus the Step 4 side at Spinks Drive. Obviously, nothing on the line in terms of league position or cups, but even though it's a pre-season friendly, bragging rights are going to be on the line, aren't they?
Yeah, again, lads know each other in both camps. Look, I've got a lot of time for everyone at Cov Spinks. I think they're a cracking club. Me and John still speak regularly. He's a great guy. And look, we're going to have another 90 minutes. I think both teams are going to want to win the game. Let's be honest, they're going to want to win the game just because of what it is. It's Cov Spinks versus Cov United. I would like to think that clash rivalry isn't the same anymore, but ultimately both teams are going to want to win it. But again, for us, the performance is key. We can go and we can put in an unbelievable performance and still lose the game. But that is going to be the key, and making sure players get more minutes. And again, we're doing everything to take us to the 25th of July. And regardless of results, the performance is the key. First half today wasn't great. Second half was brilliant. We're going to Saturday and we're looking to kick on from where we left off here in a much similar way of playing with purpose, playing with intent, and just being more assured on the ball. And we're going to look to do that against Spinks on Saturday.
Well, I think I'll speak for the Red and Green Army, saying that we can't wait for the clash at Spinks Drive. Ellis, congratulations on tonight. Thanks for your time.
No worries, thank you.